All right. Good morning, agents. This is Kevin Lauren. I'm the Director of Training and Marketing here at Alta Realty Group. And today we're going to go over some really cool video ideas that will help you with your prospecting. And there's a really cool thing about video and YouTube, and you can pretty much just put these little guys on autopilot. And once you get them set up, you set it and forget it, and away we go. So pretty cool, utilization of video to do prospecting and to do lead generation. So this will be a good one. Before we get into today's presentation, we're going to bring on Bill Seitz, corporate broker. Good morning, Bill. How you doing today, buddy?
Good morning to ARG agents and to you, Kevin. Although it's evening where I am, 9 hours ahead still.
How's Africa?
Africa is freezing cold. It's been raining all day. It's probably in the low 50s, high 40s right now. So it's absolutely freezing. But yeah, exactly. Midwinter down here south of the equator. And we just wrapped up our event number 2 that I was a part of, and a Brazilian one. No surprise there. So pretty exciting sporting event down here. The town here of Jeffreys Bay. Kevin, as you know, is a big surfer. We've been hearing and knowing about this place for a long time, so it's been a bucket list place to go for me personally.
Oh, yeah.
As I know would be you yourself. But really cool just to see how the town and all the people here locally, the community, comes out to support the event. So it was pretty fun to watch that and be a part of it. But yeah, we're finished with that, and we'll be spending a few days with my family, and then start making our way home here shortly. So
awesome, buddy.
But
glad you've been having a good time out there and getting some stuff done as well.
Yeah, and I've been speaking to a number of you guys as well, and I kind of figure out my schedule now. It's obviously easier to get me if you get a hold of me first thing in the morning when you wake up, and that's the best time. If it's any time after lunch, usually I'm pretty much starting to be in bed or sleeping at that point. So I do get the messages the next morning when I do get up, but then you guys are pretty much sleeping. So we have to kind of coordinate that early morning before lunch is kind of the rule of thumb for at least the next few days and stuff. So, but if you weren't aware of that, now you are. And but yeah, Kevin, I did went through the financials this morning, or for you guys this morning, for me just recently, and the 10-year has trended down over the last week, and actually over the last couple of weeks. So that's nice to see. It was getting close to 4% on the 10-year. It has trickled down, which is a good sign. The market's going up. Inflation seems to be kind of getting a little bit of getting a handle on it. So hopefully we'll kind of still keep that trend downwards as we move forward into summertime, but it is still unpredictable. So it's kind of that, tongue-in-cheek, hoping for the best, and we'll just keep monitoring it.
Exactly. Expect the worst, hope for the best. And, really for your clients, that means, now is better than it was. And so, there's never a, good way to time the bottom of the market or anything like that. So if the numbers work right now, go for it, because, it could go up.
That's right.
Might go down, but right now it's a pretty decent spot. So what's like a kind of an average rate right now, about 6.5 or something like that?
Yeah, those with a paper credit, 20% plus down. You're looking in the high 6s, mid to high 6s.
Right.
If your credit is not in the top tier, you're probably in the low to mid 7s. So, it's a far cry from where we were a year and a half ago, but once again, rents are up, so people are paying quite a bit for rent. And it's if you want to run that exercise with any of your clients and have us run the scenario, you got to remember there's tax incentives as well. So you really want to look into that, as the tax deductions are a huge part of the equation. Yeah, you don't see the relief on a monthly basis, but you do see it during tax season,
Right.
and you do get money back. So it's part of the overall equation, something to be mindful of. Obviously, as real estate agents and real estate professionals, we don't give tax advice. We learned that upon getting licensed, but it's important to push that out there with your clients and let them speak to their preferred tax professional and kind of understand that component, because the tax incentives on the interest deduction is a big thing, and it's a real thing. But they need to have an idea of what that looks like when it comes time to getting the returns done. So, and real quick, Kevin, before we bring Debbie on, I just want to remind everybody, some of you have files that are closing, or they might close sooner than what's in the sky slope. And this kind of comes up quite often. And what we try to do is prioritize the files based on what's been put in there. So if you do plan on closing early, that's great. And, we don't discourage that if you're prepared to close, and all parties are willing parties to do that. Just if you can, remind yourself or your TC to go in and update the closing date. Because Lauren and her team, that's what they, obviously that's what they're utilizing for their pipeline of deals. So if something says it's closing August 5th, and yet we're trying to close this Friday, but we don't know that the system says August 5th still, that's where sometimes the delay can happen. So if you can just kind of keep an eye on that, monitor that, have your TC know that as well, that helps us. Keep us, moving in the right efficiency for you guys. And we're also, good news, we're also in negotiations with adding additional file review staff. So I think that'll help some of the bottleneck. But in the interim, until that is official, just make sure those dates are accurate.
Yeah, good call. All right, perfect. Well, I appreciate that update, Bill. So let's bring Debbie Saccone from Clearview Mortgage on the line. Get a little update from Debbie. All right. Good morning, Debbie. How you doing today?
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
We're doing fantastic. Couldn't be better.
I always like to hear of Bill's adventures.
Heck yeah.
Well,
very cool.
My name is Debbie Saccone, and I have actually been with Clearview Mortgage since the conception, and have known Bill and Kevin for even has it been almost 10 years, Bill? So
yeah,
anyway.
About 10 years.
And I've been in the mortgage industry for almost 30 years. It's what I've done my whole life, just so everybody knows. So I'm not new to this industry. And that brings me to the first subject that I wanted to talk about. And that is, I can't tell you how many times a realtor has told me that, they reluctantly refer a client to me as they say, the client was turned down by another lender, or the client told this, or the lender told this client that they couldn't qualify for as much as we're trying to go for, or simply that the lender did not let the client even know. They never called them back to let them know why they didn't qualify, or if they even qualify at all. So I want to just let you know that there's many times that I don't even know why another lender, unless they went to like a direct bank and that bank had, overlay guidelines, but I have qualified people and gotten them in the house even after another lender has told them that they couldn't. So, and some people were just even reluctant to believe me because of, until the day they closed. And that's really sad. But if you have a client that comes to you and they let you know of an instance that another lender has told them that they can't qualify, or they can't qualify up to a certain amount. We have so many different programs that allow different thresholds. So in fact, I ran a DU, which is the automated approval system, with one lender, did not get an approve eligible. I switched it over to another lender, run the DU, and I got an approve eligible. So it is the most bizarre thing. I don't know. But the fact is, we go that extra mile to figure out how can we, so if you ever hear the words from us that, we can't go this high, or this client's going to have to go through credit, rehab or something like that. We have exhausted every single avenue that we could to make this loan happen. And one last thing that I want to go over, because it looks like the lenders are loosening up a little bit with 20% down. Somebody that wants to purchase an investment property, and let's say they're self-employed and they don't show enough income to qualify, or they just don't have the income to qualify, period. I even had a guy that did not file tax returns. He obviously got money from Airbnb, income from other properties, but never reported it to the IRS, didn't file tax returns. But we have a program with 20% down minimum that's with the DSCR program. It has to be an investment property. The rent has to cover the total principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. And they'll even go with Airbnb income, maybe for an extra 5% down. But why not? The rates are just about the same as an investment purchase interest rate with conventional financing, maybe, like a 0.5% higher, but it depends on their credit score. But let us, we're here. I'm a phone call away, even on the weekends. So let us help you, because we're all a team. And I wish you guys a great week. And that's, my little segment today. You can learn more just by, giving me a call and picking my brain if you need more information.
Hey, Debbie, real quick, before we let you go. Hey, why don't you explain what an overlay is? Because I'm sure a lot of the realtors here on the call have not, it's a word that we do hear some, obviously in our world, we hear a lot, because depending on which bank it is. But maybe just give the agents here what the definition of an overlay is.
Sure. So basically, we, all the loans that we do are guided by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. And so they have to fall into the basic guidelines of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. That's why we run loans through the automated approval system, because and every lender runs every single loan through the automated approval system, except the bank statement program, P&L statement program, the 1099 statement program, the DSCR all those non-QM programs. They don't do DUs or LPs, or running it through, DU is with Fannie Mae, LP is with Freddie Mac. In fact, they don't even order tax transcripts. So that's interesting. But like, for example, something that happened to me recently, this lady wanted to go with her bank, with B of A. She was in the middle of a transaction when 2 weeks later, B of A said, oh, even though they told her in the beginning, you qualify, 2 weeks later, she doesn't qualify. I have a lot of those. I'm doing another jumbo loan right now where they didn't qualify with B of A, because B of A had an added little layer of rules. And in the first lady's case, the maximum debt to income ratio, no matter what, you could have an 800 credit score. I could run a DU with a 49 debt to income ratio, and but B of A would not go over 45% debt to income ratio. And so they declined her. She had actually 47% debt to income ratio. She had a great credit score. She was putting 30% down. This was a no-brainer loan. And when we ran our automated approval, she got accept eligible with 47 debt to income ratio. So we're able to do the loan. And the other deal, just so you know, when people go to direct lenders of any kind of direct lender, it doesn't have to be a bank. They may only have one, like, for example, jumbo program. Okay. We have like 8 to 10 different jumbo programs with each of our lenders, not just Total, but each of our lenders. And so this other client went to B of A. B of A finally, after 2 weeks, turned them down. I knew they were going to, because I just knew that B of A would not take that loan. It was $1 million loan. And we got a loan approval in 1 day. We're going to close the deal in 2 weeks. So it's very possible with VA, FHA, and jumbo loans. We can also close in 2 weeks. I forgot to mention that. But the overlays are these added little rules or guidelines that other lenders have on their only products that they have. And even if you do happen to get a direct lender that might be able to broker out to a couple of places, they're not going to come through a lot of times. And that's where I get a lot of loans, is because another lender couldn't, actually get that loan approval. When the loan finally goes to the underwriter, obviously that loan officer did not know the product in advance. And we know the guidelines. Even if there's something a little iffy, I'm going to call all my lenders. Like, for example, on that $1 million deal that I'm doing, or no, this is another one, sorry, another $1 million deal. The buyers wanted the seller to pay 6% of the loan amount towards origination fee to buy that interest rate down. And that's 6%. Well, guess what? Most jumbo programs, almost all of them, will not allow the seller to pay up to 6% of the closing costs, period, or origination fees to buy the rate down. They will only allow up to 3%. Well, I have 2 investors that will allow the 6%, and with dang good rates, better than the other programs. So it was a win-win situation for these people. They got their wish. They got the 5.25% interest rate on a jumbo loan. And so anyway, just saying about that. So that's what overlays are all about. They're added little rules or guidelines that certain lenders have that are above and beyond what Fannie Mae will allow.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Debbie. I know it was kind of it's not a short-winded answer, because, these banks are allowed to make these extra rules, and they make these extra stipulations on what Fannie and Freddie put out there. But thank you so much. Yeah. And I'm glad you brought up the jumbo loans, because that is obviously with the loan amounts, the price of housing, the houses basically over the last few years has escalated so high that a lot of these just basic average transactions. I mean, just as a brokerage, we see more and more transactions that obviously have are in the $1 million plus price point. So it is good to know that there are multiple avenues to get financing, through Clearview. So anyways, Kevin, we've taken up a bunch of time, so we'll let you get into the meat of the presentation.
Hey, that's okay, guys. It's all important.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Debbie. Really appreciate it. All right, cool. So this is video is something that I always want to talk about, because video is the statistics show that it's just by far the most effective form of communication. It's the most effective form of advertising. And so creating these little videos, and it's always a daunting task. What the hell do I do? What kind of a video do I create? What do I do? So I wanted to take this time, and we're not going to take a lot of time, but we're going to go through 5 different ideas of videos that you can create. And then the coolest part is you can take those videos, you can put them on YouTube, or even some of the other platforms, and you can do some advertising. And the good thing about YouTube advertising is, and we've all kind of seen, you click on a YouTube video, and sometimes there's almost all the time there is a ad that pops up, and there's another little button in the lower right corner that says you can skip the ad, but you don't get to click that button for about 3, 4, 5 seconds. And so what that means is, your ad possibly could be, being displayed while somebody's waiting to have their video queue up. And if that person clicks the skip ad button before the 30-second mark, you don't get charged. So you just got a little bit of exposure for free, quote unquote free. So YouTube ads can be very cost effective. They can be, you can set a very, very low budget. And that's why I say you can set this and forget it and put it on autopilot if you do this correctly. And it doesn't take very long to do. If you're a real, stud, then you're going to go ahead and you're going to continue to make these videos. You're going to get some consistency to your YouTube channel, right? And so everybody on this call should have a YouTube channel. This is our All to Realty Group YouTube channel. And so this is where we stream all of our videos. And so you can create playlists, you can create your communities, you can create all these different channels within your content to display what you have to sell. And one of the other cool things is with the new Elevate system, the Elevate system will go ahead and create these, these videos for you, which is really, really cool as well. So, every time you have a listing, they'll create a listing video for you and they'll post it on YouTube. Then you can go back in there and you can even optimize these little videos. So these are all the Elevate videos that they've been posting automatically for us. So again, side note there, always make sure that you're using professional photography and making sure that all of the information that's going to be put into these automatic YouTube videos looks good. And so if you do that, then you can trust that your stuff's going to look really nice when it pops onto your channel. So, and I have at least 2 or 3 YouTube, marketing videos in our YouTube channel that you can go in there. You can just do a search for, YouTube marketing, and we go through all of the, individual facets of how you actually create that advertisement with the YouTube video. So we're not going to get into that today, but we're going to go over the different kinds of videos. Okay. So, and there's a few different, at the end, I'll mention a few different agents that do a really good job. And I always recommend that you look at what other agents are doing, other successful agents, and, copying what they do is not a bad idea. If it works for them, it's probably going to work for you. It's the best form of flattery too, right? So we don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. If there's something working for someone, it's not a bad idea to, copy or borrow what they're doing and add your own spin and all that good stuff. So number one easy video to create is a community video. So, and you can do this either, a city, if your city's small enough or your town's small enough, you can do just a video about your town. In most cases, in the Southern California area, Northern California area, most of us live in these communities within these kind of large, megalopolises. So it's really conducive to create these kind of videos of a micro, community within a town. So, for Newport Beach, there's all these different individual areas. There's Balboa, there's, Lido Island, there's the peninsula, there's, all these different spots. So it's a really cool idea to just make a short video highlighting what's going on in those areas, list a few of the, the attractions, and these community videos should, like all of your videos, be very short and concise, A community video, you can get away with making a tiny bit longer, but I would say 2 minutes would be the absolute longest. So, and there's the way that we use videos, or the way that we create videos, guys, is we do a combination of things. You can purchase clips on things like Adobe Photostock, and you can also, of course, use your iPhones for some of it. Then all you have to do is go into Canva, and if you want to use our Canva templates, you can go on to the Agent Resource Center. You can sign up for Canva, $6.99 a month, and you can have access to all of our templates. So the templates allow you to do things like create a video, right? So videos, they have templates, so you can even, take a very nice template that you may like, and they have, little animations and all that kind of stuff. You can even do a search for, videos that have to do with real estate. And so they'll already have little templates that have some animations and have some, just things that are conducive to real estate videos. Then we just literally create, we select that template, and we just make those videos in Canva. And I've had lots of tutorials in our YouTube channel that go over that. So we're not going to go over that here. But anyway, once you create your YouTube videos here, then you take them over to your YouTube channel and you upload them. So super, super easy to do. Once you do it once, it's fairly simple. And of course, you can schedule an appointment with me. We can go through that together. But the community videos are one very, very good piece of content to have on your YouTube channel. And again, you can just, do an advertisement, and then based on the way that you set the advertisement on it, as people are going through their YouTube and they're watching YouTube stuff, your advertisement will pop up for certain keyword phrases, of course, or for certain things that they're searching for. An infrastructure update, it would be the second type of video that you could create. And so a infrastructure update would be, something on the lines of, hey, there's a new development or something that happened in our area. Maybe there's a new stadium going in, maybe there's a new hotel, or there's a new golf course. Anything that is a kind of a major infrastructure or major development within the community, that's a no-brainer as an update, and create a video for it. People want to know that stuff. And so creating a quick little overview of what just happened in the community, very cool, very, very good information to provide to people that are buying, selling real estate. Same thing, new community updates. Sometimes there's a whole new tract coming in, or there's a new community that's being built in our area where I am. There's a brand new community, like a master community going in, something like 1,000 new homes or something crazy. And so that would be a great thing to keep people up to date with what's going on. How's the construction going? What does it look like? What's it going to do for the community? So all of those little bits are, hey, information that's very relevant to your clients. So we're always trying to just, provide that value. Why are we your real estate agent? We're your real estate agent because we provide value, knowledge, all of those different things that a buyer or seller would need. Home tour videos, absolutely. And so this is really cool too, because you don't need to necessarily do a home tour video of a listing. If you don't have any listings, we all have friends. And sometimes you can just ask a friend that might have a really nice house, hey, do you mind if I just do a little tour of your house? And just like if you have some great features or anything like that. Obviously, if you have a listing, that's way better to do home tour videos of your listings. But you can also network with another realtor. and say, hey, another realtor's listings. Let me see if I can, go through, do a home tour video. I'm going to put it out to my network and see if I can get a buyer. Not too many agents would turn that down. So, no excuse if you don't have a listing, you can still do home tour videos, and tons of different ways to do that. I'm not going to go into the specifics on, how you would do that, but easy to do with an iPhone, and do some little clips, put it into Canva, assemble it all, throw a voiceover on it, and you're done. And then the fifth one would be highlighting local builders and or local charities. So we at Alta, we love supporting local charities. We think that our agents really need to give back to the community, and they really need to support the communities that they are involved in. And so doing a highlight about your community or your charity that you support, or even maybe you once a month highlight a different charity. There's really a lot of great organizations in almost every community in the country. So, get involved, help them get the message out, help, your clientele understand about those things. I love hearing about charities. I love supporting charities. So, I think that is something that I would want to know about from my realtor if they, are doing this kind of thing. So I think it's a really, really good content. So I hope that this has, kind of given you guys some ideas about different ways to create videos. And then I really encourage you guys to, do one-on-one trainings with me, where we'll go into Canva, we'll create the videos. We can even go into YouTube, we can upload the videos, and then we can do the advertising. So it's just a really, really good thing to do, as I said, to put it on autopilot and set it, forget it, at least for a few of the videos. And then if you're a real rock star, you're going to continue to make more videos, and you're just going to use this as a springboard to do prospecting, basically infinitum. So Bill, any quick takeaways that you've got from, video creation, or just doing, videos as a medium for advertisement?
No, I mean, this is all amazing stuff. And whether you're doing newsletters or you're doing video content, we kind of, hammer on this. It's so important to, one, be consistent with it. We know that. And number two, I really like I follow I follow a handful of agents, and then they're not necessarily ARG agents. There are other people in the industry that I follow. One being is my friend David Solomon. He's one of the top realtors in the country. He works in LA and West LA, Westwood, and Beverly Hills, Hollywood Hills, Malibu, Santa Monica. He's a very high-end realtor. And I always watch his content. One, he was a good friend of mine. I went to college with him. He was one of my best men in my wedding. And but he's very, very successful. And his newsletter he puts out sometimes it has a video. Sometimes it's just the actual newsletter, but it does talk about things that you had mentioned, Kevin, talking about the new restaurant that's in town, or the grand opening of the restaurant, or maybe it's the concert that's going on over the weekend. And actually, his newsletter doesn't even talk about real estate as the number one thing. It's actually all about events or restaurants or places of interest in the LA area, in the areas that he works. And then he goes in, then below that are his featured listings and the properties that he wants to showcase. But I really like it because it engages me, and I'm fully aware of what how he's doing it, but it's good content. So I read through it because I enjoy it, and I like the layout, and I like what he does. And here's a top level professional in this business that's doing this stuff. And so I do think, whether you are doing it through video or through a newsletter type thing, it is super important to not just be always real estate, but you have a broader component to it that brings your readers in and keeps their attention. And so they know you're bigger than just that one listing.
For sure. So here's an example of a realtor that does a pretty darn good job. She's in the Newport Beach area. And if you go through her reels, just really, really well done, quick, it just doesn't belabor any points. They're all very, very quick and easy to listen to. So I think that she's got some really good ideas. If you wanted to, go ahead and follow her and see what she does, I think that's one example of a realtor that's doing very well with video. So, and then the other thing, of course, with videos, you can put it on Instagram. Instagram is a really good video platform, and YouTube as well, or I'm sorry, Facebook as well. So all of those different platforms are very conducive to video, and they're more eye-catching, right, Bill?
100%. And you had mentioned, the charity thing. You mentioned, different groups. I mean, for example, I'm here in, South Africa right now. And while this event might not, lead me to a real estate sale per se, maybe it will. But I've been involved with this organization of professional surfing. It's something I've been involved with since I was, Kevin and I were probably in our mid 20s, better part of 20 years now. And I can't tell you how many transactions I have completed through this network. It's something, obviously, consistency, right? I've been involved with this organization for over 20 years. I have met hundreds of people and have hundreds of contacts that know that I'm in real estate. Did I go into this wanting to pitch real estate? Absolutely not. I don't even show up to talk about real estate. I go to do my my work with the organization, but it just naturally happens as people get to know you. People know what you do as your main profession. And I honestly couldn't even count how many transactions I've done out of this networking group. So whether it's your church, your charity, your tennis group, your golf group, you're donating time at the local school or PTA organization or coaching for kids. I've also done that with as my kids were younger, coached many of their teams. And that always was a fruitful thing. And I didn't do it because of that. That was the last thing on my list is why I did it. I did it because I wanted to be involved with my kids as they grew up. I wanted to be involved in their lives. And I that was always something that I really enjoyed. And so, we encourage you to do that if you're not, because it's a real organic way to procure business, authentic, organic. And it's just it's something that keeps providing for you.
Exactly. Once you're doing this, it does kind of go on autopilot for you, because it's, and you're not, when I was learning sales as a young man, there was an acronym, ABC, always be closing, right? And so there's a lot to that, but tone it down, when you're dealing with charities and your sphere of influence, don't be that person. But be the squeaky wheel. Don't be the secret agent, and just always, of course, let people know subtly that you are in real estate. You don't have to belabor the point. You don't have to, always be talking about it. That's, crossing the line. As far as I'm concerned, you guys all have your own styles, but I think there's a little bit to be said for that.
Yeah, and just case in point, this kind of brought to my attention here. Obviously I've been doing this a long time, and I have the potential of getting 3 listings the back end of this year through 2 different people that I've met through real estate. One, my friend Tim Marshall, he's actually from Australia, who I did meet through surfing and judging surfing. I actually sold him and his wife, or actually did their financing for their first home in Oceanside. He's actually moving back to Australia, and he has asked me to help him with that in September. He's getting remarried and moving back to Australia. And so that's one. And then I have another friend, Rick, Bastian, who actually works with us at Clearview, his mother-in-law is selling a property in Del Mar, California, and he's also selling his house in Carlsbad. And I don't, I'm not a full-time realtor as most of you guys are, because I just don't have time to be full-time. But I still will help certain people, certain personal close clientele or family with that. But just to prove kind of the concept, I'm not soliciting these people. They're close friends of mine that has happened over the last 15, 20 years. But they trust me, they know me, they know I've been doing this a long time. And so there's basically 3 listing opportunities for me starting in September and in the back end of this year, that's a nice position to be in, right? 2 of them will be in that $1.5 million plus, price point, and the other one will be probably around 600,000. So, without it, just other than just being a part of an organization and being friendly with people and building relationships, right?
Absolutely. That's what we do.
Yeah. So it's good stuff, Kevin.
Yeah. Thanks for all the insight there, Bill. Really good stuff. Agents, thanks so much for coming on the ARG Wednesday webinars. We really, really appreciate it. And we hope you guys get out there and make it a great week, great weekend, and a productive weekend. And we'll see all of you on the webinar next week. Bye-bye.